What's up, everybody? It's me, Mr.Skizamanops, and you're watching the Forced Element Podcast, episode number 3. Now, the usual stuff that we do in the podcast, which is where we talk about my life and the stuff that has happened with me in my life in the last 30 days, we're still going to do that, but we're also going to add a couple more elements into it. I'm going to talk about skateboarding, and we're going to also talk about gaming, and then we're also going to talk about the future of the channel, meaning the stuff that I have planned for future videos. And then the gaming part, we're going to talk about what my current gaming preference is and where I'm playing games at and the type of games that I'm playing and the games that I'm looking forward to. And the skateboarding part is I'm basically going to be talking about skateboarding, my current skateboarding thoughts and where I'm currently at in skateboarding. As soon as this podcast is over with, I'm going to actually go to the skate park and start my very first YouTube skateboarding video intro kind of thing. It's not going to be like an intro, if you will. It's sort of just going to be like my first skateboarding video explaining how skilled I am and showcasing basically all of my skills, all of the stuff that I can currently do at this current moment in time. I'm in the process of learning a few other tricks, but we'll talk about that when I actually do the video. But anyway, let's get into it. Alright everyone, so basically where should I start from? Let's go ahead and just focus on the negative stuff real quick, and then we'll transition into some more positive stuff towards the end of the episode. How about that?
Catch me outside, how about that?
So, obviously the last episode that we talked about my job situation and how I am trying to get a job at HME, and well, it looks like I'm definitely not going to be able to work there, probably never going to be able to work there. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say would never want to work there or never be able to work there, but it's just one of those things where it's like, if they didn't give me the opportunity now, then why would I even give a shit about pursuing a career with them in the future? You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't even want to give me the benefit of the doubt and even try to get me to work. It's like, okay, whatever, alright, I'll just move on and do something different. I've already decided that if I wasn't able to get the job, then I'm just going to move on to one of the more mediocre type jobs, meaning where it's one of those jobs where you don't get paid every week. Now, of course, I could go out of my way and go apply for some of these other warehouses. There's more than one warehouse, job that pays every week and does 12-hour days throughout the week. But basically, this is kind of how it went down. So I was working at Five Below, as you guys may know, and I decided to put my 2 weeks in because I wasn't making enough money. Every single 2 weeks I was only getting paid $11, or I was only getting paid about $12 an hour, and I was only on part-time, which typically if you're only on part-time, you're not going to get that much money anyway, only about $500 every 2 weeks anyway. So I was at a point where I was like, I needed a job when I very first applied there at Five Below. Because I had some stuff in the pawn shop I had to get out, and I had some other expenses, some things where my mini bike was broken. I had to order some parts off of Amazon. And so, basically, I just needed to get a job so I could pay for all that stuff. So I did that, I got that, and then I kind of got sick and tired of working every single weekend. Don't get me wrong, I'm willing to work on the weekends and starting on Friday or Thursday and work through the weekend all the way up until Monday or whatever. I'm willing to do that as long as I'm getting paid a decent wage and getting I don't like those jobs where you get paid every single 2 weeks or every other week. I know most jobs, so this is the way I categorize it. The jobs that pay every 2 weeks, those are the low-end jobs. Even though sometimes you can get a really good paying job that pays every 2 weeks, I had a good job at Hobby Lobby and they paid every 2 weeks and I was making some damn good money there. It's just I got fired for some bullshit. That's another story for another time, but I've already made a video on that in the past. You can go back in the video, you can go back and watch that if you want. I'll put a link up here in the corner somewhere, whatever. Anyway, guys, so going back to the story. So I put my application into HME, and I didn't have enough time to fill out the full job history, and I guess that's what they look for. They want to make sure that you're a consistent worker, that you're a long-time worker, that you can be there and you're gonna be there consistently for longer than just a year. You know, they want to make sure you're there for a couple of years or longer. So basically, I didn't get enough time to put enough job history down. They denied me, and they didn't even give me a reason that denied me. They didn't even call me, didn't even email me, none of that shit. They just moved on. And so my cousin works there, and so he's like, well, reapply again for the machine operator position. That's what the one he did when he very first started working there. By the way, my cousin is exactly like me, and he told me that he's a supervisor there now because he's been there for a long time, and he works like the differential hours, which is like late at night and shit, the hours that people don't want to work. So he's been doing that for several years now, and so he's worked his way up and is like to an assistant, I'm not really sure, like a supervisor basically. And so he has a couple of people that are under him, and he even says like they do the exact same thing that he does, and like outside of work, like if you can kind of understand like in there. But anyway, so kind of going back to it, like I reapplied there and filled more of the application out for my job history, made it look really good, didn't put no gaps in, and I even put Five Below. I'm pretty sure I put Five Below on there too, and if I didn't, I probably fucked up. I think I might have not put Five Below on there, because if they would have called there to ask for reference on that, they probably would have like gave me a bad reputation. Like I knew some of the bosses and some of the employees there at Hobby Lobby, so like if they were to call them, they would definitely know to give me a good reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. Anyway, so going back to it, so basically I submitted also a resume of all my previous jobs, everything that I did, and apparently I must have sent it as a JPEG, because he said, oh, I clicked on your resume, but it was blank, it didn't have anything, which looks really bad, because I told him I sent a resume, and then when he clicks on it, it's blank. It makes it look like I sent him a blank page, when that's a bunch of bullshit, because I don't see how their computers can't see a fucking JPEG picture. But regardless of that, anyway, so my resume was blank, and then they called me and said, oh, so it looks like the recent jobs you had here was at Hobby Lobby, and they asked me, have you had any employment since then? And I go, yes, so I've been working as a manager at Five Below and all this shit. And then he said, I told him that I personally put my 2 weeks in because I was banking on getting this job here at HME. And this motherfucker tells me, oh, well, I'm sorry, but it looks like we're not going to go forward with your application. He didn't really give me a specific reason why, but he just kind of basically reassured me that I'm not going to get the job there. And at the end of the phone call, he was like, oh, well, I wish you the best of luck. I wish you the best of luck, but I'm sorry. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, fuck you. You just told me you wish me the best of luck while simultaneously stabbing me in the back while I walk out the fucking door. That's bullshit, man. I hate that kind of conversation. Of course, he was trying to be nice, but you could have just left that part out. Like, literally, this is like got really nothing to do with, this is such a small little nitpick thing. It's not really that big a deal, you know. It's one of those things where you just move on with your life and don't worry about this thing. But still, like, to break it down, I'm at a point where I need a fucking good paying job. I'm trying to get a good paying job. I even sent you a message saying like I'm a good worker, like you won't regret hiring me. Is at the end of the day, when I'm at a job, when I'm at working, I don't want to be there, regardless, period. I don't want to fucking be there at all. And it goes the same way with pretty much everybody else that works at a fucking 9-to-5 job. Don't nobody want to be there and do that shit. But you there because you have to make money, because you got to pay bills and you got to live and all this other shit. You know, eat and all this shit, and some people have children and shit they got to take care of. It's just stupid fucking situations. And I don't know what the conversation was between the hiring manager and my cousin, if my cousin said something to him about me, or whether it was a negative thing or it was a positive thing. I would just assume that my cousin would not say anything negative about me, especially when he's trying to get me to get hired there at the fucking job. But because they denied me the very first time, because I didn't fill the application out the very first initial time, I had 50% chance that in my mind, I was thinking that they're probably going to deny me again. You know, I figured they was probably going to deny me again. You know, I was like, whatever, I'll give it another shot, put more effort towards the application, put more job history down, and see if they just so happen to take the bait, to see if they can fucking hire me. And I mean that in a very lightly thing, because that's basically what it is. Like, when you're looking for a job, you're just putting all your stuff out there to see if anybody wants to bite, to see if they want to hire you or not. That's pretty much how it works. You know, whether they need you or not, they just want to see if you're worthy enough for the job at hand. You know, are you smart enough to do the job? And believe me, I'm smart enough to do this fucking job. If my cousin can do it, I can do it. We're basically the same thing, even though we're two different people. I would assume that, look, I'm not even going to get into that part of it right now. I was going to go on a whole big tangent about who's smarter than who. Like, I'm not even going to go there, because that's not even what it's about. It's just about the fact that they didn't give me a chance. They would have never regretted giving me a chance at this job, because literally, I'm at a point in my life where I want a job that it pays every single week. My living situation is set up in such a way where there's no reason for me not to have a bank account full of money. And I do pay bills, I do have some expenses, I do have things I have to pay for at my house or where I'm living at and stuff. But again, my living situation is absolute perfect. So there's no reason for me to not stack money, to not have the ability to stack money in my bank account and my own personal bank at my house. So this is what's been frustrating the hell out of me, because working at Five Below, yes, I did have a job. I did have a way to make money, but I did put my 2 weeks in like a dummy. All these things are all my fault. I'm not going to put the blame on anybody else other than me. Like, I'm the one who fucking decided to put my 2 weeks in. I'm the one who decided to try to get a better paying job when there's no guarantee that I was going to get the job. You know, I already knew that going forward, but I was just so sick and tired of working there, not making enough money. I knew there were better paying jobs, and the way I went about it is not exactly the best way of going about it. Like, literally, you would not want to put in your 2 weeks unless you know for sure, you're confirmed that you have this other job that you can have to go to. I get it, you know, I understand that. But I also want a little bit of free time in the spring and summertime. See, the last 2 or 3 years of my life, I've been working all the time throughout the spring and summertime, and I haven't had a whole lot of time enjoying the spring and summertime. And if you guys didn't know anything about me, the spring and summertime is my time of year. I love the warm air. I don't care how hot and humid it gets outside. I would much rather it be hot, humid, and miserable, like heat-wise, over cold, bitter snow, fucking like cold attaching itself to your bones and getting into your bone marrow and making your fucking entire body cold. Like, fuck that shit. I hate the winter for a few different reasons. Not only is it cold, but another reason is because it's so cold and miserable, you're stuck inside pretty much all winter long, not doing a fucking thing. And I've been doing that for the past 10 to 15 years of my life. To a certain extent, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've been kind of getting out of my slump and kind of like, you know, getting a job and wanting to better my life and do things better for myself. Because look, at the end of the day, yes, I have a girlfriend, but a few years ago, I didn't have a girlfriend. And I wanted to have a girl and to have a relationship with a girl and eventually have family and eventually get to that point in my life where I'm taking care of my family and I have no choice but to work a 9 to 5 no matter what it is, because I have to make an income because I want to support my family. I want to get to that point in my life, but I'm now slowly, gradually getting there, and it's just a slow process, and it's always been a slow process. I've always had these crazy dreams in my mind where it's like, oh, I'm gonna make enough money to get a PC, and then I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and build up a YouTube and Twitch, and have people donate to me, and then I'm gonna become super wealthy because of all these, you know. And then eventually I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll get a Twitch contract, or maybe I'll get some sort of contract with a streaming network. It'd be so awesome to be able to do that. But then I found myself not really pushing forward with it, and not really understanding where I wanted to be at with YouTube. You know, for many, many years, even to this day, I somewhat struggle with finding my own little niche, my own little path carved out in YouTube. And I always thought maybe since I'm a gamer, I could always go that way with gaming. You know, I could always take games to the next level, considering I loved playing Call of Duty at the time. I loved playing Warzone at the time, and I wanted to build a YouTube channel based around like Battle Royale, first person shooters and shit, you know. I always loved Halo and Call of Duty back in the day, and always wanted to do something with my skills on those games. Of course, my skills are very limited. I wasn't exactly the best player in the world, but my skills were there, you know. I would win games all the time, and I was pretty good, you know. I wasn't a professional, but I loved it. And, you know, that kind of transitions into our next thing that I wanted to talk about is in general gaming. You know, where am I at with gaming and what's going on with the video game scene with me and what's happening, because I don't really upload videos anymore to my channel. And just recently I uploaded a Driver 1 playthrough, which I originally recorded that on the it wasn't OBS, but it was on the Elgato game capture card software. I actually use that because sometimes using that actually records video game footage way better than it does for OBS. I don't know why OBS doesn't record footage very well. Like if I use OBS for streaming video games, it'll stream it very well, but I can't record videos very clear with OBS. I don't know, there's probably some settings on there I need to focus on and figure it out, but I'll fuck around with that the next time I decide to do a video, because regardless of whether I do it on, because kind of going back to the whole Elgato game capture software, the reason why I'm not going to do that anymore is because it split my my video up. It split my camera footage up, and it split my overlay up, and it split all my comms, like my microphone, my voice. All that stuff was split up, and I didn't know how to add it all into one video. Like usually when OBS records a video, it'll record everything. It'll record your overlay, it'll record your mic, it'll record all that shit, and it don't split it up into different videos. It'll just keep it all combined into one fucking video, and you can use that and edit it and all that other shit different for later on. But I don't know why Elgato did that shit. I guess that's just part of the program. I don't know why, but anyway, regardless of that, the next time I do a Driver 1 playthrough, like, because I do have plans to continue to do that. I want to play that game all the way through, do an hour or two or more on that game, and record it and upload it to the YouTube channel. I did notice that it did get 8 views. I know I didn't click on it 8 times. I clicked on it a couple of times, but I didn't click it 8 times. So at least a few people clicked on it. Whether they watched the entire video or not, I don't know, but still, I'm gonna record that stuff. Only reason why I'm doing an old school PlayStation 1 game right now is because I just recently bought that like a couple of days ago, or about a week ago when I got my last check. I think I have another check from Five Below. I'm gonna check tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the payday. So I'm gonna check on my bank tomorrow to see if I got a little bit more money, but that, again, that's beside the point. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to finish Driver 1, but once I get done with Driver 1, I am going to move on to the more modern day games like Grand Theft Auto 5, because currently right now, the reason why I haven't even done another video on Driver 1 is because every time I play my game, I'm always doing GTA 5, or I have a couple of other games I want to finish or start playing again, and they're kind of irrelevant, like Mirror's Edge Catalyst. That game's kind of sucks, but it looks and plays amazingly on my computer, and so I definitely want to continue doing that. I want to do videos on that instead of live streams. I might go ahead and transition a little bit out of live streaming. Seems like every single time I do a live stream, I get satisfied with the fact that I do a live stream and I don't really get very many views or any engagement from people on chat, because I don't really have the ability to monitor two chats at one time. So the way that I do my live streams, I'll do them on the same computer that I'm playing games on. And it's okay if I'm just doing like a normal conversation, like just chatting type live stream, you know, just sitting here talking with you guys. I can monitor both chats that way, but I can't monitor both chats if I'm playing a game on the same computer that I'm streaming off of. which typically that's what I'll do. I'll stream on the same exact computer that I'm playing the game on. And when the game is up and I got full screen on the game, I can only see one chat through my phone at one time. So if there is somebody that says something on Twitch, typically I have more viewers on YouTube than I do on Twitch, so that's why I monitor the YouTube chat over the Twitch chat. But even if there is somebody on there, like, I can't really interact with them because they don't even know I'm not seeing their shit. But anyway, that's kind of why I want to transition away from live streaming, because another aspect of it too is once I do a live stream and that live stream is done, the feeling of me doing something on YouTube and Twitch, the feeling that, okay, it's like, oh, I did my live stream for the day, so now I don't have to worry about making a video. Now I don't have to worry about trying to, like, grow through videos on YouTube. I've already did something today on YouTube, so I'm done for the day. And that kind of mentality is bad. I don't need to go do that, because ever since I've gotten a good internet connection, I always wanted to have the streaming career, you know. But it's really difficult to be able to optimize streaming and make videos, good videos, and edit the videos and put them on YouTube and have enough time to work a 9-to-5 too, because that's pretty much what was hindering me from doing this stuff anyway, is having a 9-to-5, you know. I had to work. Even the part-time job still kind of got in the way. Now, I wasn't optimizing my time as much as I should have, and recently in the last few weeks or so, I've been realizing how lazy I've been for the past, and I'm starting to kind of get out of that, you know. Like, every morning I'm going to start a routine. I'm going to start something that I need to do, and I literally thinking about me doing this gives me such a good feeling about doing it, because I know for many years now and for many months now I've wanted to do something with YouTube, but I just haven't, because I've just been live streaming, and then I've been satisfied with doing the live stream, even though I haven't really been getting any engagement with my live streams. It's weird with me, you know. It's like, all I typically want to do is just be a loser, smoke weed, play video games, and ride my mini bike, and that's it. That's all I've been feeling like doing, and I know that's a really bad way of going through life. And I want to get out of that shit. I want to get my ass up and, like, do something worthy of my life. And that's why I wanted to, like, get this job at HME, so that way I can actually, like, because like I said, I noticed myself had a certain routine that was not beneficial for my production of getting things done or doing anything worthy of my life, you know. I was just, like I said, getting up in the morning, smoking weed, playing video games, eating lunch, and then going to ride mini bike in the afternoon, and then maybe go hanging out with my girlfriend or something for a while, and then kind of repeat the process. And it's like, I want to do something better than that with my life. Like, I know I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of talent that I just don't want to be wasted with everyday mundane events, you know, and mundane things that I do every day, you know. And I can still do all the stuff that I want to do. I can still smoke weed, and I can still play video games, and I can still ride the mini bike. I just gotta be more productive with all of that stuff, you know. Use that to my ability to make YouTube videos. And so that's the reason why I'm going to transition a little bit away from live streaming and start focusing more on the videos itself, because I feel like, obviously YouTube is a type of website where videos are going to reign supreme over live streams anyway. It's a video platform. That's what it's made. That's what it is. It's not a live streaming platform. But anyway, so that's going to be what's going to be happening here real soon with my life, and things are going to be more productive here on the YouTube channel. So if you guys like the sound of that, there's a subscribe button somewhere down in there. You know, you can click it. It's free. It's whatever. But I ain't going to pressure you to do it, because I'm kind of new to all this stuff, and you're probably thinking, I don't even know if I like this dude or not. I don't even know if you guys even made it this far in the podcast. You know, we're working 25 minutes in. A lot of people probably would have shut the shit off by now. Anyway, so let's talk about skateboarding. That's right, skateboarding. So another thing that I've always wanted to do on my YouTube channel, not just video games, but skateboarding. I'm a skateboarder. I've always been a skateboarder since I was like 10 years old, and thankfully that my parents were awesome enough to get me some high quality skateboards. And not just Walmart brand boards. I got a real authentic skateboards every single time I needed one. I always got a good one from a skate shop. My parents were awesome that way. but is what I've always wanted to do, and I always knew I had the skills and the ability to do this. Ever since I learned how to, ever since I learned how to ride a skateboard very easily and very consistently and very smoothly, like a professional skateboarder can, you know, I can ride like a professional. But as far as doing tricks goes, as far as like tricks, I cannot like do very many flip tricks as a professional can. So by all means, I'm not trying to tell you guys that I'm a professional skateboarder, even though if I put a lot of effort towards it, I could if I really, really, really wanted to. I am a bit old though now. I am 32, and here this month, in 14 days as a matter of fact, I will be 33. And for a 33-year-old, it's not exactly in the books for someone this old to be a professional skateboarder. Now, I did hear a couple years ago there was someone who did kind of make it in the skateboarding world, and he was 35. He finally was able to get there after so many years. But regardless of all that, I'm not necessarily trying to be a professional. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use my skills and be better at skateboarding, learn more tricks, and just in general be better at skating, even though I'm already a phenomenal skateboarder. We will cross that bridge when we get there, and basically what I'm saying is you guys will see the footage here real soon of me skating. Now, going back to it though, is I have told myself for many years that I want to record skateboarding and show the audience, my YouTube audience, the people who I have subscribed, my skills on a skateboard, what that is. And I've never really actually made a skateboarding video. I've done a few clips here and there on Facebook, and I think I've tried to upload some skate stuff on my YouTube, but I just never was satisfied with how it looked. But this is what's going to happen. So I've made a dedication to myself this year that today, either today or tomorrow, and it sucks to keep telling myself to postpone it to the next day and shit, but sometimes it gets too fucking hot outside, and I just do not, I just am not in the familiar, I'm just not in the feeling of wanting to skate while the sun is beating down on my fucking head. Even though I'm wearing a hat and all that, it's still pretty rough out there, especially when the sun's beating down on you and you're at the skate park that's nothing but concrete, and the concrete is reverberating the heat up from underneath you and making it even more hotter at the fucking skate park than it normally is. You know, like right now it's 82 degrees. Earlier it was like 72 this morning, and it was amazing, and I should have left early this morning. But anyway, the reason why I had to stay here is because I had these people to bring my cats back from the vet. I had these people come to take a couple of my cats. I have a bunch of cats, and some of them had to get fixed, like spaded and neutered. So they took them, and they're bringing them back today. And they already brought them back earlier today. They're fine. They're in the house. But anyway, so going back to the skateboarding thing. So yeah, that's what I want to do, is I want to start recording skateboarding footage and start recording stuff. Now, I don't want to do it in a sense where I'm recording like video parts and making a video part for YouTube. Like, that's not the type of skateboarding videos I want to do. I want to do like the normal, regular, like, this is going to sound kind of cringy, and this isn't going to be something that, like, this is going to make me fall in the line of all the other typical YouTube skaters. But I want to make a YouTube channel, skateboard channel, kind of like that revolves around me and my skateboarding and all the stuff I like to do in skateboarding. And I already know there's a bunch of YouTube channels already like that out there. And I'm kind of envious of some of those skateboarding channels. You know, they got a lot of views, and they get a lot of views, and they have a lot of subscribers. Some of them even have 1 million subscribers. And it's insane the fact that someone who is a YouTube skateboarder, who's accumulated over I can't even talk. Can't even fucking talk. It's insane the fact that there's YouTubers out there that have accumulated over 1 million subscribers through just sheer skateboarding videos. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm not saying I'm ever going to be a 1 million subscriber type channel, through just skateboarding videos alone, but I still want to get myself out there and, you know, promote my skateboarding and stuff like that a little bit. And hey, if it grows up enough to the point where I got enough following and I decide I want to do a little bit of investment into the industry, I might do a little investment into the industry, and maybe some of you guys can buy some of my stuff. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, if we even get there. We'll see. Right now, at this point in time, I'm just doing it for fun because I want to build a career on the YouTube stuff and skating through skateboarding. What very little amount of time I have left on the board. I'm getting a lot older now, and every year that passes, my body keeps going further and further into the old man state. Now, I'm not even close at that point yet. Like, eventually you'll see the type of skateboarding I can do, and you'll be like, this guy's complaining about being old. Like, I can't even do half the shit that this guy's doing. But then again, there's gonna be a lot of hate that I get too. I can already tell because I don't typically like to do the normal style type skateboarding. I do air. Like, I like to go up in the air and grab, like, you're gonna hate me for this, but I like to go up in the air and do grab tricks. That's kind of my specialty. That's kind of like what I like to do. But I don't go up the quarter pipe and go back down like you know, your typical like Tony Hawk up and down in the air, do grab tricks, go back down. I don't like to do that. I typically go up the quarter pipe, do my grab trick, and land on flat ground and just flap, do a flat landing on flat ground. That's just how I like to do it. Like I said, I'm not the best skater in the world, but there are certain aspects about skating that I feel like I've never lost ever since I was a little kid. I've never lost the ability to do these things ever since I was little. I was able to do it when I was little. I'm still able to do it now. And there's something to it. There's something very special about that I feel like it's going to take off somehow on YouTube. And then I might be wrong. I might be wrong about that. But still, like, that's kind of where I'm at with the whole skateboarding thing. And I've delayed it and delayed it and delayed it for many, many years now. I should have already recorded stuff on YouTube and already had a YouTube channel about skateboarding for a long time. But here we are, 2025, and I'm just now starting to get it, and I haven't even done a video yet. But I'm motivated, and I'm definitely going to do it either today or tomorrow. Like I said, I had a little not really emergency, but I had some things I had to get done or had to wait on this morning. Also, today's the 1st, and I had to do this recording for this podcast today. I want to do the recording for the podcast, get it uploaded, and get it out there on the 1st. Like I promised you guys, I would do this podcast, and I would try to upload it on the very 1st of every month. And that's exactly what we're doing today, and that's exactly what we're doing this month. And so, for any reason, if I don't upload the podcast on the very 1st, I'll give it until the very 3rd of the day. I'll give me 3 days. 3 days. If I don't get it done within 3 days, it'll definitely be there on the 3rd. Because like I said, this is a motivational kind of thing for me. Like, I'm here to do this podcast on the 1st, get it done, record it, edit it, do everything I need to do, and get it uploaded to YouTube. Because, like I said, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. I'm trying to get my shit monetized. I'm trying to make money, you know what I'm saying? But eventually, I think it's not going to work to the point where I'm going to have to get a job. Like, I'm going to have to get a 9-to-5, and I'm going to have to, like, eventually find a way to work a 9-to-5 job and also do the YouTube thing like I've been trying to do, or like I've been wanting to do. So either the YouTube thing's either going to blow up between now and then, which I doubt it, or I'm just going to have to really, really grind at it every single day that I don't have to be at work. That's pretty much going to be it, you know? So, alright, let's kind of go through our topics here. We talked about what's going on with me in my life at the beginning. We talked about the job. We talked about, actually, we didn't even talk about me and my life at the beginning, but I'll kind of elaborate a little bit on that. Not a whole lot has been happening within the last 30 days. And other than, like, obviously we talked about what happened with the job, me quitting Five Below, and then we talked about the skateboarding stuff, and then we talked a little bit about video games, and like I said, I'm going to be uploading more video game footage too. Like I said, my YouTube channel is going to be all over the place. I don't really know where YouTube is probably going to my YouTube channel is already categorized in the gaming world. But once I start uploading skateboard footage, I think YouTube itself is probably going to put myself in an entertainment category. I don't really know how that's going to work. All I know is what my YouTube channel is basically going to be is basically about my life and everything that goes on in my life, and that's why this podcast exists, because that's what it is. You know, the podcast is everything that happened within my life within the last 30 days, and then we're going to also continue doing more videos with video games, skateboarding, and more lifestyle type videos. You know, just in general, whatever it is, like camping, anything really. So I'm going to be more consistent at these YouTube videos. I'm going to be at it a lot more. I'm motivated now. I don't have a job. I don't have anything to really worry about, or, you know, time-wise. And that's kind of the bad thing about it, is like I wouldn't mind doing YouTube videos outside, like working a 9 to 5, if I just didn't have to worry about being somewhere at a certain time, you know. Like I have to leave my house at an hour or 30 minutes before, so I have enough time to drive on the road to get to where I need to be, so I'm not late for work. And then when I get home off of work, I want to decompress from working by just smoking or going to the skate park and skating. By the way, that's literally the best time for me to record footage, is right after I get done with working, because I'm decompressed pretty much all the way by the time I get to the skate park from the drive home from job to, because I'm usually smoking, and I'm usually, anyway, so by the time I'm at the skate park, I'm decompressed and I'm wanting to skate, because I ain't skated all fucking day, and it's just at nighttime and the temperature's just perfect at night, and there's usually a bunch of local skaters at the skate park with all their girlfriends. Like, this is kind of strange for me, because back in the day, like, there were 0 girls at the skate park, like none at all. But I know, like, skateboarding has gone so far to the point where, like, even there's female category skateboarders, and there's, you know, females are wanting to enjoy skateboarding and riding around on the skateboard, which is great. There's nothing more enjoyable about skateboarding than just having the ability to just ride at the skate park and just fucking ride and just glide. You don't even have to do no tricks. You don't have to ollie. You don't have to do shit. Just go up the ramp, turn around, and just keep riding and just ride and let the wind flow through your hair and flow through your shirt. That is the best feeling in the fucking world. But I love to do tricks just like everybody else, and I love to take skateboarding to the next level, if you will. But anyway, that's pretty much gonna be it for today. I didn't really talk too much about like things that went on in my life, other than the fact that, like, me and my girl earlier this month, we did go to this lavender festival. I didn't really want to, like, I wanted to bring this up earlier in the podcast, but I kind of got so sidetracked with all the other stuff I wanted to talk about, because I don't write any of this stuff down. I'm just going off the top of the dome here. But earlier this month, me and my girl went to this lavender festival, and we picked some lavender flowers, and it's basically there so we can, like, it's basically a family-oriented festival kind of thing. You go there, you pay like $10 to go there, you cut some lavender, and you can use that lavender for, like, lavender oil or whatever you want to do, you know, that kind of thing. I told my girl that I would add this into the podcast, but I kind of meant to do it earlier than now. It's kind of at the end of the podcast. I'm not even sure if there's anybody even up in here to even listen to me talk at this point. But anyway, so I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you that liked the video. Appreciate all of you that wanted to subscribe. Like I said, more videos are coming in the future, like real soon. Either today or tomorrow. But it's already 12:46. There might be some people at the skate park, but I doubt it, because it is Tuesday and it is right in the middle of the day. So I don't think there's very many people there. There might be some kids there though, because it is in the summertime, so I don't know. Anyway, I do want to say thank you for you guys for tuning in, and yeah, I don't currently have a job anymore, so I am looking. I did apply for another job. Hopefully they will call me. If they don't, then whatever, I'll apply for some other shit. I might even fucking go work at Walmart again if I have to. Fuck it. I need something. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one I do, which will be 30 days from now, but I'll be doing more videos in between now and then. Alright? Alright. Later on.